Hello, my fellow readers. This is I, Dark Symphony 777 with another fan fiction reading. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts on the story, and finally, this is my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, the story I am doing a reading of is called Maid by Lieutenant Oreos. With a Z, because radical. Yes. This is a Touhou project fanfiction. Yes, Touhou. I don't know. I just saw some Mommy Fox, and it's like I gotta read it because it involves Mommy Fox. Oh, and also the best girl. Don't underestimate best girl. She's underrated. Jiao. So let's just get started. Sakuya Izayoi. Oh my god, that's such a hard name to read. Actually, read out loud. I can read it fine in my head, but I have such a hard time just reading it out loud. The chief maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion found herself in an unusual predicament one day. She was meticulously cleaning up the mess left behind by Koakuma, the demon librarian who seemed to have an accident on the floor. Sakuya sighed, feeling the weight of her responsibilities bearing down on her. The relentless tasks of the mansion were starting to take their toll, and she yearned for a brief respite. I need a break, Sakuya muttered to herself, wiping away the remnants of the mishap. She longed for a change of scenery, even if just for a little while. Little did she know that her wish would soon be answered, though not in the way she expected. As if summoned by her thoughts, the door to the room swung open, and Romelia Scarlet, the mistress of the mansion, the original demon lolly, an all-around charismatic vampire, entered with an unusual gleam in her eyes. Sakuya, I have a proposition for you, Romelia announced with a mischievous smile. Curiosity piked. Sakuya turned to face her mistress. What is it, Romelia? I made a bet with Yukari Yakumo, the mistress of the Yakumo household, Romelia explained. We agreed to trade one of our servants for a week. I've chosen you, Sakuya. Sakuya's eyes went in surprise. Me? Oh, God. But what about my duties here? Romelia waved her hands dismissively. Consider a vacation, Sakuya. You'll go to the Yakumo household and experience a change of pace. What? How did that? Wait! I want to ask something. How did they decide on the bet? Did Yukari just randomly show up in Romelia's house like, switch servants with me? And Romelia was like, okay. And then they just told you. These are questions I must answer. I must ask. And experience a change of pace. In return, we'll have Ron Yakumo, their chief servant, serving at the Scarlet Devil Mansion for a week. Ron in the maid outfit. Fox mummy. Sakuya hesitated, torn between her loyalty to the Scarlet Devil Mansion and her longing for a break. Eventually, she acquiesced. Very well, Romelia. I shall honor your request and serve at the Yakumo household. The next day, Sakuya found herself standing in front of the Yakumo household, ready to embark on her temporary assignment. The serene atmosphere and spacious rooms provide a stark contrast to the bustling Scarlet Devil Mansion. It seemed that the chores here would be more manageable, at least on the surface. However, as Sakuya set about her duties, she was constantly pounced on by Chen, the mischievous cat yokai, and her spinning. Chen's playful nature and inconsistent pouncing proved to be quite the annoyance for the normally composed maid. Chen, please refrain from jumping on me while I work, Sakuya requested, her tone exasperated. Chen giggled. Her eyes sparkled with mischief. But it's so much fun, Sakuya. You're like a moving target. Nyah. Sakuya sighed, realizing that escaping her duties would be more difficult than she initially anticipated. As the day wore on, Sakuya's attention was suddenly diverted when Yukari Yakumo, the enigmatic mistress of the household, appeared before her in a swirl of colorful magic. Hello, Sakuya. I couldn't resist tuning in the fun, Yukari said with a sly grin. Before Sakuya could react, Yukari's fingers danced across her body, tickling her mercilessly. No, bad Yukari, bad! You're bad! You're 17 years old. Don't be a pedophile. No, wait, that's not right. Wait a minute. How old is Sakuya? Yukari is 17, otherwise, if I say anything else, then I risk getting run over by a train. You can do that, you know. Sakuya's attempts to squirm away were in vain, as Yukari's magic held her in place. Yukari! Please stop this at once, Sakuya pleaded, her voice a mixture of laughter and protest. Yukari chuckled mischievously. Oh, come out, Sakuya. It's a bit of harmless fun. You need to listen up. After what felt like an eternity, Yukari finally released Sakuya from her ticklish grip. The maid gasped for breath, her cheeks flushed from the unexpected encounter. As the days passed, Sakuya found herself settling into a routine at the Yukuma household. The chores, although still present, seemed easier to manage in the tranquil atmosphere. Chen's antics continued, but Sakuya grew more tolerant, realizing it was just a part of the dynamic of the household. On the third day of her stay, as Sakuya diligently attended to her task, she couldn't help but reflect on the whirlwind experience she had been thrust into. Despite the unexpected challenges and playful encounters, she found the sense of enjoyment in the changed pace. Little did she know that the coming days held more surprises and adventures as her stay at the Yakumo household continued. So that's Sakuya. This is probably gonna be right. Yeah, there we go. Ran Yakumo, the loyal servant of the Yakumo household, an overall fluffy mommy with her big mommy milkers. Yes, I'm calling her that because she's worth it. She's the main character in the newest Touhou game, after all. Oh, because of a certain skeleton-loving weirdo named Toby Fox wanted her in. Don't diss the Fox mom. Found herself in an unfamiliar setting as she stepped into the grand halls of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. The air was thick with anticipation as she embarked on her week-long stay, fulfilling the trade agreement made between her mistress Yukari Yakumo and Remilia Scarlet, the mistress of the mansion. As Rand familiarized herself with the surroundings, she was greeted by the mansion's inhabitants, each with their unique personalities and quirks. It didn't take long for her to realize she was in for an eventful and engaging time. Patchouli Knowledge, resident magician and overall bae, well, second best girl behind Mei Ling. Yes, I'm deal with my interruptions. Otherwise, you get the train. Don't make me get Yukari on you. Is immaculately drawn to Rand's presence. The two engaged in deep discussions about various subjects, ranging from arcane magic to ancient text. Patchouli found Rand's intellect and breadth of knowledge refreshing, and the conversation between provided a welcome respite from her solitude. Patchouli, engrossed in a book, glanced up and smiled. Rand, I must say, your insights on alchemy are truly enlightening. It's refreshing to engage in intellectual discussions with someone who appreciates the depths of her craft. Rand returned the smile, her eyes twinkling in excitement. The pleasure is mine, Patchouli. Your expertise in magic is truly awe-inspiring. I find our conversations to be incredibly stimulating. Flandre Scarlet, the younger sister of Amelia, was initially cautious around Rand. However, Rand's calm demeanor and kind nature soon won her over. One afternoon, Rand found Flandre sitting alone in the mansion garden, her expression pensive. Rand approached her gently, a warm smile on her face. Flandre, may I join you? Flandre looked up, her eyes wide with curiosity. You want to sit with me? Ron nodded, taking a seat beside her. Of course, Flandre. Sometimes it's nice to have someone to share a quiet moment with. It's all right with you. May I offer my lap as a pillow? Ah! Flandre's eyes lit up. A small smile formed on her lips. That sounds nice. As Flandre rested her head on Rand's lap, a sense of calm washed over her. The simple act of offering comfort brought a sense of tranquility to the unpredictable young vampire. Han Mei Ling, or Mei Ling Hong, the Scarlet Devil Mansion's gatekeeper and all-around best girl in the franchise. Woo! Found solace in Rand's presence as well. Unlike Sakuya, who often scolded Mei Ling for occasional bouts of sleepiness, Ron approached the situation with understanding. One evening, as Mei Ling nodded off during her post, Ron gently nudged her awake and handed her a warm cup of tea. Mei Ling blinked in surprise before gratefully accepting the cups. Oh, Bran, thank you. I didn't mean to doze off again. Ron smiled warmly. No need to apologize, Mei Ling. We all need moments of rest. Here, have some tea to help you stay alert. Mei Ling sipped the tea, feeling a renewed sense of energy and appreciation for Rand's considerate nature. You're really kind, Rand. I appreciate your understanding. As the days passed, Rand continued to embrace her role, relishing the intellectual discussions with Patchouli, by offering solace to Flandre, and understanding Mei Ling's occasional need for rest. The Scarlet Devil Mansion had become a second home to her, and she felt a sense of belonging that she hadn't expected. On the third day of her stay, she found herself drawn to the mansion's impressive Why am I missaying library? Impressive library. It was a place of knowledge and precious tomes, meticulously organized by Patchouli Knowledge. Ron had developed a deep appreciation for the vast collection during her concussions. Did I just say concussion instead of discussions with Patchouli? Lost in the world of literature, Ron pursued the shelves, running her fingers along the spines of ancient books. Little did she know that she was about to encounter Mischievous. A sudden creaking sound caught Rand's attention. She turned to see Marissa Kirisame, the ordinary magician with an affinity for thievery, sneaking into the library. Ron raised an eyebrow, her gaze steady. Marissa, what brings you here at this hour? Marissa froze, her eyes widening in surprise. Just checking out some books, you know? Ron's expression remained calm, but a glimmer of determination showed in her eyes. I see. However, I must inform you that I have taken measures to protect the library's treasures. Marissa's curiosity piqued. She leaned in, eager to hear more. Protect them? How? Ron smiled mysteriously. Warp spells, Marissa. I have set up warp spells around the library, specifically designed to teleport anyone attempting to steal a book to the pit of the nearest public outhouse. Marissa chuckled nervously, her mischievous nature momentarily subdued. Well, I guess I'll have to be more careful from now on. Thanks for the hands up, Ron. Ron nodded, her gaze unwavering. You're welcome, Marissa. Remember, knowledge should be acquired through proper means. As Marissa turned to leave, she couldn't resist the temptation of a particularly intriguing grimoire to play on a high shelf. Yeah, that's nature for Marissa. Oh, once a nymph, once a klepto, always a klepto. Ignoring the warning, she stretched on her tiptoes, trying to reach it. In that instant, a faint shimmer filled the air, and Marissa vanished from the spot. As the sun began to set on the third day of Rand's stay at the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Rand and Patchouli delved into a discussion about the complexities of magical theory. Ramilia approached them with a mix of gratitude and regret in her eyes. Ron, Patchouli, I must express my deepest appreciation for the harmony you have brought to the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Ramilia said, her voice tinged with a touch of wistfulness. Your presence have been a true blessing. Ron bowed respectfully. Thank you, Ramilia. It has been an honor to serve here and foster meaningful connections. Patchouli nodded in agreement. Indeed, Rand's insights and companionship have been invaluable. We will miss her presence. By the fourth day of Sakuya's stay at the Yakumo household, she found herself yearning for the familiarity of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. The rigorous demands of her position as head maid weighed heavily on her, and the constant presence of Chen, the energetic Nekomana, only added to her frustration. As Sakuya meticulously set the dining table, balancing an array of delicate china, she couldn't help but feel a pang of weariness. Suddenly, Chen pounced on her playfully, causing Sakuya to lose her balance. With a loud crash, one of the plates slipped from her grasp and shattered on the floor. Yukari Yakumo, the master of the Yakumo household, appeared in the doorway. Her expression stern. Nukuya? That was careless. You must be more attentive. Sakuya's shoulders slumped. A mix of guilt and frustration washed over her. I apologize, Yukari. It was an accident. Yukari's eyes narrowed as she reached for her umbrella. Giving it a swift. Why am I messing up so many words today? Giving it a swift flick, the umbrella whacked Sakuya lightly on the backside, eliciting a yelp of surprise. Discipline is essential, Sakuya, Yukari said firmly. You must learn to be more careful and efficient. Sakuya's frustration reached its peak. She excused herself from the room, hiding her sadness behind a composed facade. However, her heart ached with a feeling of inadequacy. With a heavy sigh, she made her decision. Under the cover of darkness, Sakuya slipped out of the Yakumo household, determined to return to the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Her mind was clouded with doubts, and her longing of familiarity overwhelmed her. As she stealthily made her way back, Sakuya couldn't help but overhear a conversation from a partially open door. It was Patchouli, Milling, and Flandre, deep in conversation about her absence. I must say, Ron's presence had been a breath of fresh air, Patchouli remarked. She is a remarkable individual, engaging in intellectual discussions and bringing a sense of calm to the mansion. Milling nodded in agreement, and she's so understanding. She doesn't scold me for falling asleep during my duties like Sakuya does. Flandre's voice joined in, her tone filled with admiration. I like Ran. She lets me use her lap as a pillow. She always knows how to make me feel better. Listening to the words, Sakuya's heart sank further. It seemed that Ran had effortlessly filled the void she had left behind. Doubts crept in, questioning her worth and capabilities as the head of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Tears welled up in Sakuya's eyes, but she quickly wiped them away, determined not to let her emotions get the best of her. As the week in the Yakumo household progressed, Sakuya found herself caught in a whirlwind of responsibilities and unexpected challenges. Despite her determination, the strain began to take its toll on her. Chen, the energetic Nekomana, seemed to have an insatiable desire for Sakuya's lap. No matter how busy Sakuya was, Chen would persistently seek her out, demanding to use her lap as a pillow. Each interruption, while innocent in nature, slowly chipped away at Sakuya's focus and patience. On top of that, Yukari Yakumo, the master of the household, continued to pull pranks and discipline Sakuya. Her mischievous antics, while amusing to some, only added to Sakuya's mounting stress. From time to time, Yukari would teleport objects just as Sakuya reached them or playfully reprimanded her with a flick of her umbrella. As the days wore on, Sakuya's neat and pristine appearance began to show signs of wear. Her once immaculate maid uniform was now covered in stray cat hairs, a testament to her constant encounters with Chen. It was a stark contrast to the usual standards of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. On the final day of her stay at the Yukuno household, Sakuya felt completely frazzled. Her hair was disheveled, her uniform in disarray, and her usually sharp focus diminished. She tried her best to maintain her composure, but the acclimation of stress and exhaustion threatened to overwhelm her. Sakuya couldn't help but question her decision to accept the bet and spend a week away from the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Was it all worth it? With a heavy sigh, Sakuya realized she had reached her limit. She yearned for the familiar routine and orderliness of the mansion, where she felt most at home. The chaos and constant demands had taken a toll on her, and she longed to return to the serene hall she knew so well. As the week drew to a close, Yukari Yukumo arrived at the Yukumo household to fulfill her part of the bet. It was time to return Sakuya to the Scarlet Devil Mansion and retrieve Ran, bringing their temporary exchange to an end. Sakuya, still feeling a sense of melancholy and uncertainty, prepared herself for the farewell. She gathered her belongings, her heart heavy with mixed emotions. She couldn't help but wonder if her absence had made a significant impact on the mansion and its residents. With a gentle smile, Yukari approached Sakuya. It's time to return, Sakuya. The week has come to an end. Sakuya nodded, her eyes downcast, as she followed Yukari out the Yukuma household. Each step brought her closer to the mansion she longed for, yet her heart still carried the weight of doubt and insecurity. As they entered the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Sakuya noticed a somber atmosphere. It seemed as though everyone was gathered in the main hall, awaiting their return. Flandre, Patchouli, and Mei-Ling stood together. Their expressions filled a mix of sadness and gratitude. Flandre, with her innocent sincerity, approached Ran and hugged her tightly. Thank you for being here, Ran. I'm going to miss you, she whispered, her voice filled with genuine affection. Patchouli, the ever-stoic librarian, spoke softly to Ran. Your presence brought a unique harmony to our discussion, Ran. I hope our paths will cross again. Mei-Ling, standing beside them, offered a warm smile. You brought a sense of tranquility to the mention, Ran. Thank you for that. Sakuya couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness as she witnessed the heartfelt goodbyes. It seemed that Ran had seamlessly integrated into the Scarlet Devil Mansion, earning the affection and appreciation of her fellow residents. Sakuya's doubts resurfaced, threatening to consume her once more. But just as she was about to succumb to her insecurities, a familiar voice rang out throughout the skull. Sakuya! Sakuya's gaze lifted, and her heart skipped a beat as Romelia Scarlet, the mistress of the mansion, approached her with open arms. In an instant, Sakuya was enveloped in a warm and reassuring embrace. I'm so happy to have you back, Sakuya, Romelia said, her voice filled with genuine affection. The mansion wouldn't be the same without you. Your presence beneath brings a unique light and order that can't be replaced. Sakuya's eyes widened and tears welled up in her eyes. Romelia's words were like a balm to her wounded spirit, mending the cracks of doubt that formed during her absence. Thank you, Lady Romelia, Sakuya whispered, her voice filled with gratitude. I miss you all. Romelia smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. Welcome home, Sakuya. You are an integral part of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, and we wouldn't be complete without you. Sakuya felt a surge of emotion welling up within her. A wave of gratitude, relief, and love crashed over her, urging her to respond in kind. Without a moment's hesitation, Sakuya tightened her embrace, surprising Romelia with the intensity of her own hug. Romelia, momentarily taken aback, soon relaxed into the embrace, reciprocating the gesture. From that day forward, Sakuya resumed her duties with renewed dedication and newfound appreciation for her role as the head maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. She knew that her presence, her meticulousness, and her unwavering loyalty were valued and cherished by those she served. As the mansion came alive with the sounds of laughter and camaraderie, Sakuya realized that her worth extended far beyond her efficiency as a maid. She was a cherished member of the family, surrounded by individuals who had come to rely on her in ways she never imagined. And in that realization, Sakuya found the strength to let go of her doubts and embrace her place within the Scarlet Devil Mansion once more, with Romelia's unwavering support as a guiding light. So that is May Trade. Honestly, I think the core idea of Sakuya and Ran trading places and the stresses and the trials and tribulations come from having to adapt to different households honestly sounds like a perfect idea. And the idea is done as good as it can. My main complaint of this story, and it's a big one, is it's too short and it's full of plot holes. First off, the first and biggest plot hole: how did Yukari and Romelia come up with the prospect of switching the members? Like, it just happened. There should have been at least some explanation of why the switch happened. Like, you can't just go, oh, then she just switched. There has to be a reason, because with Yukari, this is kind of part and parcel of Yukari. There's always a reason behind it. There's always has to be something. And being so vague does not work in this story's benefit. The second is Sakuya's character is way too fast and very lacking. Like, the whole idea of Sakuya kind of having doubts because, unlike Ron, who effortlessly kind of adapted to the situation because Ron's like the really patient one. Like, if you explore the usually with the character dimension of the Yukari household, Yukari is like more the prank. Yukari and Chen are more pranksterish, and Ron's there basically to act as an anchor to kind of keep them in line. But then she kind of effortlessly, hence why she kind of effortlessly kind of gels with the Scarlet Devil Mansion, because they're kind of the same thing. It's just a bigger area. Well, with Sakuya, she's not used to being like constantly being harassed, constantly being pranked. And the idea of like exploring at like each of them, like, you could easily just stretch this over like 14 chapters with a prologue and epilogue. That'd be like 16 chapters. Like, yeah, the prologue which would be chapter 1, and then each double chapter would technically be like, oh, here's the first day with Sakuya, first day with Ron, and then just repeat over and over with the course. And like, you could see, and Ron's chapters would be shorter, while Sakuya having to deal with the struggles of Chen and Yukari would actually be a neat dynamic to the character. But it's kind of over too soon before you're able to sink your teeth and kind of get invested in the whole thing. I do think overall it is at least a decent little story, but I'm kind of underwhelmed with the fact that this is an idea that really easily could have been done more with. I'm not gonna knock the story, because at the end of the day, this is just something that could have been, because what we got so far, what we got here is just decent enough. But I think the author could have easily could have carried this idea more. Like, could have easily just made this longer. And the idea was there. The characters were there. I would say this would be a 2 out of 5. It's just too short. It's just too short, in my opinion, to really stick in your memory. But I wouldn't call it a 1 because it like I said, the idea is there. It's just, this is an idea that more fits a longer story. So that is my reading of Maid Trade by Lieutenant Oreos. This has been Dark Symphony 777, and cut.